Hello, everyone. My name is Ian King. Welcome back to the National Sports Media Association interview series. I'm joined today with Alex Taylor, the Wyoming Sportswriter of the Year and writer for the Gillette. Alex, how are you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. The first question that I want to ask you is the sports media industry can be one that's definitely pretty difficult to enter. How did you get your start as a sports writer and getting into the industry?
So I graduated from Western Michigan with my bachelor's originally, and I kind of uh, understood the landscape of the career path, obviously going into it, and so I ended up going back to school to get a master's in creative writing, actually, and I kind of focused in and kind of emphasis on creative nonfiction for sports writing. So kind of like somebody like Wright Thompson, somebody like that. And I actually I got my start in a small paper in Jamestown, North Dakota. I was a general news assignment reporter and worked there for about 5, 6 months. And obviously incredible experience, just journalism wise and just getting that work experience. But I knew that the county commission meetings and city council meeting, I knew that wasn't for me. And so I ended up moving to Wyoming, and I got very lucky that Gillette was hiring a sports reporter in the middle of COVID when no sports were going on. And luckily I stuck. The other sports guy that was here left a couple months after I was here, and so now it's just kind of been me here, and got bumped up to the sports editor a couple months ago, and yeah, just kind of like I said, just really secured a spot here. It's very hard to get in, but once you do it, it's a very rewarding experience for sure.
That's awesome. You mentioned COVID impacting how you got your job and how lucky you were to get a job during the pandemic. How did COVID affect your job as a sports writer?
Honestly, like I said, I feel very fortunate. I mean, obviously, the COVID pandemic was just a very serious thing, but Wyoming was one of the least affected states, I guess, in terms of events getting canceled. And I know, so Wyoming lost their spring sports season, but I mean, sports started like right back up in that fall, so it didn't really. I think in that summer, the baseball team here was one of like 4 states to have a baseball season at all. So it was, like I said, I got very lucky with the timing and the placement of where I kind of got my start here.
We talked a little bit about it before your interview. Obviously, it feels great to win an award that you've been nominated for by your coworkers. But what does this award, your first time winning, mean to you?
Okay, I know it's gonna sound kind of cliche, man, but it's really just a big honor to get these votes from guys that have been here a lot longer than I have, and have done an incredible job of covering sports across Wyoming. And just for them to just to know that they read the stuff that I'm writing on a daily basis, it's just a really, we might be 400, 500 miles away in the state of Wyoming, but we're still reading each other's stuff every day. And like I said, I'm 26, so this just kind of getting this honor and recognition just so early on in my career, it's just nothing but up from here. I guess it's a pretty good feeling for sure.
Absolutely. Definitely a good way to start your career. You definitely are early in career. You have a bright future ahead of you. Do you have any advice for young sports writers and people who aspire to get to where you are right now?
Yeah, I think I know we had talked a little bit before, but just don't. I think you want to get into sports so badly, but you can't just be so stuck on that avenue where you refuse to do anything else. I mean, that, like I said, I was hired here because of my experience doing those county commission meetings and those school board meetings, and so you really just have to kind of respect the process of getting up to speed in the journalism industry, and just like I said, kind of just like taking advantage of the opportunities you get, because they're really hard to come by. So when you do get them, it's really wise to take advantage of them while you can, for sure.
And then you definitely, as we mentioned, pretty early in your career, you've only have a few seasons under your belt. But did you have a favorite season of a particular team that you've spent covering so far? And would you mind talking a little bit about that team?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big basketball guy. The one of the schools here I covered just won their first state basketball championship this like the last month or so. So it was, I mean, obviously stuff like that is fun where you're very familiar with the territory of covering a basketball game. You obviously know what's going on. But I would say like covering stuff like rodeo and stuff like that, like stuff I have no idea about coming in. Like it's always fun to take that challenge on and go up to somebody that's been doing rodeo for 30 years and asking them like why rodeo and stuff like that. So it's a very, like I said, it's very good to be well-rounded, especially at this point in my career, just to kind of have all these different avenues that you can go. It's definitely a rewarding experience for sure.
Could you tell us a little bit about your first rodeo experience and what that was like for you?
It was pretty overwhelming, I'd say, because I'm a Michigan kid, so I'm a lot different, I'd say, than a lot of the people I've met in Wyoming, which isn't a bad thing, obviously, but you can kind of tell when somebody had a different upbringing than you right when you meet them. So I don't know. You kind of get to the rodeo events and you start watching them and you start realizing I have no idea what's going on here. And so it was pretty overwhelming at first, but then obviously you meet the right people and you get the right information and you start kind of teaching yourself the process of what they're going through and you start to understand it a lot better, like, kind of like through their eyes. So it was pretty overwhelming, but like I said, it was a very rewarding experience for sure.
Absolutely. That's something that's pretty unique that you get to cover in Wyoming that a lot of other places don't get to cover. So it seems like an awesome experience.
For sure.
When did you realize in your lifetime that you wanted to become a sports writer, and what did you do to pursue that?
Yeah, I think it was pretty early on. I think I was never good at school and in high school. So I did the one thing I enjoyed was some creative writing classes I took, and we had a journalism class, and I took that, and I kind of realized, like, I don't know, like you can get paid to go watch baseball games and you can go get paid to watch a football game and just write about it. And I like sports and I like writing, and obviously you're not really in it for the money or the fame. It's just kind of one of those things that it just kind of made sense, and did pretty much everything I could to make sure that it happened. So I feel very, very grateful for being able to land this job and then obviously get recognized for the work that I've been able to do here for sure.
Definitely a unique career path that you get to take, and you're very fortunate for it. Alex, again, congratulations for winning the 2021 Wyoming Sportswriter of the Year award. Definitely a great honor to be nominated and voted on by your peers. So congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining me today.
For sure. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate it.